Hey guys, what's up? So this is another video on Quick Match. I haven't done a video on Quick Match in a while. In my last video, I mentioned about how it's so hard to find a race that doesn't have dirty racers in it. Actually, it's nearly impossible. Yeah, it still is. Here's one where I found a guy that is actually pretty fast and he races clean. And I had a really good time. Unfortunately, in the last race I was in with him, like I was up in first, and he kind of clawed his way up from the back and went to overtake me. And this was at a time where I hadn't completed this race in under 5 minutes before, and apparently he just does that normally. He's pretty fast, and he overtook me. And then on the next corner, I went and got on the inside to overtake him. I held my line, but I guess he didn't see me, and he ended up bumping me, and he got the penalty, so I ended up beating him. And I guess he didn't realize he hit me, because I got a message from him saying that, oh, I'm not that fast, but I know how to give him the penalty, whatever. So, you know, that wasn't my intention, obviously. But anyway, here we are, and this is my first time running this race in under 5 minutes. And it was pretty intense. I was kind of like I was just being dragged along. I was just staying up on him as close as I could. Obviously, I'm not that close anymore. And I was just shadowing him, and it was quite an amazing run. So I felt that I really wanted to share this because of how amazing this run was, considering that I had never gone this fast before at the time. And I was just basically kind of staying behind him, watching how he was taking the corners, you know, because you can see when their brake light lights up, if they're hitting the brake or not. So you can see some corners he just lifts, and then I, you know, match his line and I do the same thing. I just lift it and on certain corners, or you can see where he's braking or whatever. And it was really interesting because normally I have a hard time trying to study someone from behind when I'm racing with them. And but our cars were so similar that it just kind of worked, and I was able to figure out certain areas where I was faster than he was, and then other areas where he was typically faster than me. You know, I was trying to figure out how he could have his car still go that fast with a wing on it, because you know with that wing that he's going to have that's going to add up his PP. And this is an event where you're restricted to 350 PP. The Lotus Elise already has to be down-tuned quite a bit. Both, like I have both maximum ballast and a considerable amount of power limiting on here. And the Elise 111R, which he's driving, starts out with a higher PP than the regular 2011 Lotus Elise that I have. So I figured that it's kind of ridiculous that a wing doesn't really drop his PP that much, I guess, or I mean, doesn't increase it that much. They'd have to, you know, limit power more. So I guess I should look into that. But look at how close I'm staying up on him now. I mean, again, it's not quite as amazing throughout the whole race, but it is pretty interesting to see. So I finished this race in 4 minutes, 54.408 seconds. And before that, I was somewhere around 5 minutes and 2 seconds. So I was running quite a much faster pace than I was running before. And again, it was like I was just kind of being dragged along while I was trying to shadow his every move. And it was a fun race. But my concentration was starting to wear towards the end of this race, and you'll see like the third to last corner, I kind of have a hard time. I kind of fail to like hold the same line that he held, and I go off the track, and that wasn't a lot of fun. But I still right here, but I still managed to recover pretty quickly, I guess. It was a good race. With the way my car was at the time, I wasn't able to drive any faster than I had done in that race. So I decided to try the Lotus Elise 111R. It weighed a little more, had slightly less horsepower when tuned to the restriction, and but it had a little more torque. So it seemed like it might be a little better than the regular Lotus Elise, but it wasn't really that much better. So I went back to my regular Lotus Elise, and I've added aero parts to it, and it turns out that the only part that causes a PP increase is the flat floor. So I was able to load that up with a wing and like a body kit, and I was good. So I didn't have to limit any more power or anything like that, and the car held on better as I expected. I just had to tune a bit more to deal with having that downforce, so I can still get the rear end free when I needed to you know, not have any understeer. And on my first try, this is my first try, my first race after doing those modifications, I managed a much faster time than I had ever managed before. Unfortunately, these guys didn't really stand a chance, so you're not going to be seeing the other cars that much at all anymore. I had a few races earlier today with some more competitive racers, but they were also kind of dirty, so kind of didn't really work out. But also, this was also my first race after making the changes, so I thought that was a big thing. That, wow, look at this, you know, I'm just still kind of feeling out the changes of the car, and it just goes. So I finished this race in 4 minutes 53.798 seconds. That's about a 0.6 second improvement without even trying, just from putting some aero parts on the car and making a couple adjustments here and there. And you'll also see when I cross the line that I also have set a heck of a fastest lap record for myself here as well. Well, not that I showed any previous records, but it's a pretty fast lap.